Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. We've got an awesome Plat 3 VOD here when you play a very good game on the scoreboard, but still make a ton of mistakes, which is something a lot of you can learn from. So this is a great one. But before we jump into that VOD, I'd like to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot offers incredible, affordable, well-built, high-adjustable desks that are perfect for gamers, students, or really anybody. As a content creator myself, I need to get out of my chair and stand up, which is why having a high-adjustable desk is so important. Those long gaming hours sitting down are tough sometimes, so I like to stand up when I watch Valorant matches, do VOD reviews, or even edit my videos, and you can do it with a click of a button. What blows me away about FlexiSpot is just how easy the setup is. This is something you don't see in a lot of desks, and with FlexiSpot, I set these desks up in under 5 minutes each time. So trust me, if I could do it, you can too. You've also got great features like the USB charging points for all of your gaming accessories. You've got drawers and a great memory feature. So when you find that perfect height, you're not going to lose it the very next day. Check out the link in the description down below if you're interested. I own 2 FlexiSpot desks and they are both amazing. I could not be happier. All right, guys, so jumping into the VOD review here, Plat 3 Reyna. What does good Reyna play look like? And remember, we are going to be scoring every round based on the 5-star system. So what does good Reyna play look like? Well, first of all, aggression. I think if you're playing Reyna, you have to be aggressive. If you're not an aggressive player, you should not be on Reyna. You probably shouldn't be on a duelist in general. But on top of that, it all comes down to how well you're using your leers. This is the biggest problem I've seen with Reyna players, is that some of them just don't use leers at all. They use, Empress, they use Devour and Dismiss, but their leers are horrible. So I want to be paying attention to that, see how you're utilizing those to get yourself into places maybe you shouldn't have any right being, and blinding opponents, getting the free kills. Now, on top of that, I want to see how are you ulting. Again, one of the biggest problems I've seen with Reyna is just using ults at really poor times. A lot of people just pop at the beginning of the round, which can be okay based on situations, but I like using this ult to just finish rounds off and to secure really important rounds in games. And on top of that, I also want to be looking at Devour and Dismiss. Mainly, are you using them at the right times and using them to punish out of place enemies? So the first round here, you do get that opening pick, but the aim was pretty bad. I'm going to give you 2 stars on that round, and let's carry on. All right, moving into the second round here, going for the Phantom buy. I'm already taking points off. You guys know me. I don't like Phantom buys on the second round. However, if you're going to do it with any agent, Reyna does at least make sense. So let's take a look here. 5, all going up ramp. I hate that. There we go. Looks like Raze is going to go back down, or at least Viper to hold. Jet comes in. You kind of missed your shots there on that Reyna. Jet does get cleaned up down below, though, by your teammates. So it looks like this round's going to go pretty well. The one thing I will say, though, is, you got to be careful here with the Phantom and pushing. You don't want to just give this gun away, because if the other team gets it, I mean, you have the potential to lose some of these rounds. So just be careful with that. We'll give you 3 stars on this round. I don't really like the Phantom buys, but like I said, if you're gonna do it on anybody, Reyna at least makes sense. Just be careful with how you're pushing there. You don't want to be like making a mistake giving up that Phantom, because that's how you're gonna lose games at this rank. Okay, round 3 starts and we're all stacked over towards A. Just gonna be watching here. Yeah, so essentially the smoke's coming down, but you're playing that like the smoke is already there. Jet is just gonna peek that corner, see you not even looking, and take a free kill there. We're gonna be a 1 star on this round. Awareness not very good. You got to be you can't turn that corner like that and stand staring up at the ramp when you're in just view of all of those angles. All right, moving into round 4 here, taking a look. You've gone to A every single time. We've got to try to be a little less predictable. Now this time it is going to pay off. I want to rewind this. Was that an op that you just killed? Let's take a look. It kind of looks like it, but maybe I'm wrong. No, that's just a rifle. Okay, I was about to say, if that was an op, you might want to actually hold that. Something a lot of people don't realize is that when you take like a power weapon away, like an operator, which is really the only real power weapon in a game like this, you could camp those, and people will try to pick those up because, a lot of people in these ranks really like grabbing the op. So sometimes it's good to camp those. Nonetheless, though, a good opening kill, crosshair placement was good. You're going to notice that kill was super easy. Guy walked into your crosshair, just left click, they're dead. Okay, aggressive play coming through here with the push. So yep, this is the correct way I would say to peek these corners. You want to look towards spawn first. You can hide around that corner there. It's kind of nice. And in this way, when you push over into that connection over to B, they can't see you when you're peeking spawn. So Reyna was spotted up top. Looks like Sage somewhere on site. And now you know where the last player is. So you're playing this fine, right? You didn't have to go run and help your teammate. You kind of have to play it like the Reyna could peek at any second. So that makes sense. Now the question is, where did she go? Did she run all the way around? And it looks like she did there. Not the best kill. You're gonna get a lot of body shots there, so that was definitely dangerous if she headshot you, but it's gonna work out. I'll give you 4 stars on that round. I think that was your best round so far. And round 5 starting off again, you know, we're going for this early push over on A, showing pressure, and you've done this, you know, pretty much every round. So we've just got to be reminding ourselves that, you know, doing the same thing over and over and over again against good players, whenever you go up against them, they're going to take advantage of that, whether they put an op there, they stack it, or what have you. But nonetheless, you get a nice kill there on the enemy Reyna. Not sure what she's doing, if I'm being honest, but a good punish nonetheless. So this is what we like to see, right? I at least think so far you're playing Reyna how I would want my Reyna to play. You're being aggressive, you're getting the opening picks, and you're not afraid to die, which I think is a good aspect of Reyna. Gonna give you 5 stars on that round. I really like that round. I think that's exactly how you want to be playing, even if some things could have been adjusted. All right, moving into round 6 here. Finally, we switch up the opening spot. We're actually gonna go into B here from B main. You know, this area, I hate these fights because of the steps there that are now elevated, and it's so hard to hit headshots because you're just not really sure where you're gonna get peeked from always. But now we're sitting in a smoke, so we got, let's check out the leer here. Okay, I think this leer is okay. That would definitely blind people unless they're super close left, which you're not gonna see too many people close left anymore. I think that was something early on in Valorant we saw more often. People would sit on those boxes and stuff, but you don't see that quite so much just because you can get spammed out there pretty easy. But nonetheless, this round looks like your team is just going to clean it up. I don't really think you had much to do here, so I'm just going to give you 3 stars on this round and say, hey, decent job. Let your team finish it out, and yeah, enjoy. Or maybe not. Maybe everyone's going to die to the jet, and I'm wrong. Nope, I'm not wrong. All right, so moving into the next round, 5-1. Things are going really well. But just because the scoreline is good doesn't mean you're playing good. We've definitely seen a few poor choices so far. I think overall, though, I'd say you're doing pretty good. Okay, so I like the movement here. I like the fact that you kept running along that. That was smart, because a lot of times what happens, people jump over your head. Now those 2 kills you got, super valuable, as your Sage is able to pick up one and get the res, giving you a chance to win this round. A lot of people wouldn't think that this round is winnable because of you. They might not realize it, but it is. Because of those 2 kills you got, super important. I like the play, even if it was a little aggressive. I'll give you 4 stars on this round. I like that. Okay, so going back over towards B, it looks like I was saying earlier, one of the worst things you can do is just keep doing the same thing over and over. So I'm glad that you aren't just running to A repeatedly. This is going to keep the enemy team split up, right? This is going to keep them guessing where you're going. If you just go to the same spot every round, even if it's mid, eventually you're just going to get punished hard for it. But nonetheless, the ult here, this is a final, right? This is your very typical noob ult. You're just going to ult when you're running into a site. It's fine, you get a kill. I don't like the re-peek. I don't think you needed to peek that, especially because you knew 2 players were there, right? If we rewind this back and we take a look, right? So you get this opening kill, 1 kill, dismiss out. Smart. This is smart. You're at 5 stars right now. And then you do this. And where's your crosshair? Why is it up in the air in the middle of both of them? I don't like that. 2 stars there. You ruined that round for me. And you know, guys, this is just a reminder that you can make a smart play in a round and then completely negate the good thing you did with something stupid, right? Like just, you know, dry swinging 2 players and having a crosshair nowhere near them, right? So just because you do something good in a round does not mean that you could do something stupid right after, right? This is what we see often here in this round. You know, you're going for an early push, the molly comes, you try to get across it, Brimstone's there, your teammates are smoked off. I mean, not really too much you can do. If you were rushing and your team was following and they didn't, I could see that, but I'm gonna give you 2 stars in that round. I think right here, you just got to figure out something better than what you just did. I mean, that was not the play. Okay, so the enemies pick up another round there. 7-2 though, right? 7-2 attacking half on splits, pretty insane. Because now you're just kind of like racking up the rounds here. This is how you get those 13-2 wins. When you end up doing something like this, you win pistol, boom, game's over. So that would be very nice. So let's see what happens here. A lot of pressure early on. The Viper is going to, you know, kind of actually block. Yeah, see, so you have the Viper wall there just kind of gave whoever just got that kill a free shot. I think that was Sage, right? But nonetheless, she will actually molly, so that's good. That will push this player if it got far enough in there. Doesn't look like it did, though. So at least you know where one player is. Let's check these peaks here. I mean, they're okay. I would like a little more strafing. Oh, ooh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. This Devour works out, but if we go back here, watch this. Ready? So you get this kill. I would dismiss instantly because you're getting shot, and the Reyna, I guess, is backing up so she doesn't finish that and trade that out. But in my opinion there, in my rank, I feel like I would have gotten traded instantly because the Reyna would have been ready instead of running away from her teammate, which was a weird play by her. So you get bailed out, I think, by a lucky play from the enemy Reyna making a very poor play. I probably would have dismissed that. Nonetheless, though, decent round. I'll give you 3 stars just for that 2K. All right, so another round down the drain, 7-3. If they get to 7-5, that's when you start to worry, because that's like enough of a buffer where they can actually really put something together if they win pistol. Generally speaking, 8-4, 9-3 are looking good, except for the 9-3 curse, of course. So let's see what happens here. You're gonna pressure mid. One thing I want to say is I would highly recommend taking shots at the wall and even breaking part of it. That's going to apply lasting pressure there, because right now the enemy team knows nobody can come mid, nobody can come ropes, right? So just remember that, guys. Whenever you see a sage wall, break it. If possible, if it's safe, break the wall. There's really no reason not to when it's not your wall. Okay, that Reyna, yeah, so I've decided this Reyna is oblivious, and I will no longer give you credit for killing her, but nonetheless, there, decent job positioning. I mean, you're shooting her in the back, you're gonna get the kill. 3v1 though, this round should be over. I really just don't understand. I don't see how a Brimstone of all agents is gonna get through a wall and through 3 players in a Viper ult. So this round is over, in my opinion. I'm giving you 3 stars in this round, and not a bad kill. I mean, you get the headshot. I think he was running Phantom there with that. So lucky that headshot didn't kill you. All right, the final round of the first half here. So I like what we've seen so far in terms of switching up positioning. We started heavy A after going mid, I think, in pistol, and now we're focusing more on B, mid, and A being spread out. This really helps keep the other team from just like stacking a site and overwhelming you. I'll also note, I don't think you've had a lot of situations where you're just making really stupid plays. I say that as this play happens. I don't love this, but I don't hate it either, right? Because you're leering through, right? And the Sage is just in a position where you just didn't check. So I think if nothing else there, it's not that I hate the play, it's I hate that you don't actually check your corner there, especially when you see a Sage wall, right? When you see any type of Sage wall, always assume a Sage is going to be behind it. Players nowadays love playing behind the final part of a Sage wall in weird positions where enemies normally wouldn't be. They peek out behind and get kills there. So I'll give you 3 stars. I'll give you 2 stars on that round. Just always got to be careful of Sages. They're little rats, in my opinion. Sage players are rats. All right, so as we move into the second half, I have seen some things. First and foremost, I like your aggression, and I like that you're playing Reyna like Reyna should be played. So I think you're doing a really good job of playing your role. When you're playing entry, when you're playing duelist, you want to be aggressive. You want to be opening up with picks and creating space for your team, and you do that. Now, the problem is some of your pushes are a bit careless. You're kind of taking shortcuts. You're kind of you're just not doing the simple stuff like checking your corners, making sure your leers are popped, making sure there's, for example, the smoke is actually down when you're swinging so you're not just exposed. Oh my gosh, what am I watching? The 3K with the Sheriff, though, kind of just going against some of the things I'm saying right now. Some nice shots, if I'm being honest. I mean, those were good shots. I hate Sheriff buys on pistol rounds. I definitely don't recommend it. And I also, I'm actually going to give you 1 star in this round. I'm going to be honest with you. You get 1 star. Yeah, you got a 4K with the Sheriff. Why are you buying a Sheriff on Reyna without buying dismisses or leer, or excuse me, at least using a Devour? The most overpowered ability on a save on a pistol is Devour. You are going to, after every kill, get full armor back essentially, and you're not doing that on this agent. 1 star. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Now, obviously, part of that was joking, but of course he did better than a 1 star there. But I'm giving him 1 star out of the principle alone that there's no way you buy a Sheriff and you do not have your Devour for a pistol round. Actually unbelievable. That was iron gameplay, but the aim was good, so what can I say? But player up close there, Reyna comes in the corner. And, you know, part of the reason I hate, you know, I don't hate Sheriff, part of the reason I don't like Sheriff is because when you do miss those opening shots, you're generally already dead, since the Sheriff is such a slow shooting weapon. So on this round, again, I'm giving it a 1 star. I just don't like that round. I don't think that was very how do we say this, successful in any sense. All right, nonetheless though, team definitely pulling through in these rounds. 10-4 here. Things are looking really good, going for the Vandal buy. That's a really nice angle. I do like that angle from rafters and kind of from heaven over towards the A main push. I think that oftentimes, especially when players are running into sight and they're like checking underneath rafters, you just get free kills on people too. You just got to be careful because it's so exposed. Nonetheless though, already starting off nice with a nice kill onto the Jet. Now I would say the way you're peeking these corners, I don't like. That was a time where if someone was holding that angle, you're dead. But because they weren't, you get lucky in terms of that, and you do get the kill onto the Jet. But you just got to be careful. You know, like I always tell people, the higher in rank you get, the more you're gonna get punished for a lot of these poor plays. Now, what would I say so far? I would say your aim is pretty good, but some of your decision making and your positioning and your movement is what's going to get you in trouble and prevent you from getting to those higher ranks. Plat 3 is a pretty high rank, but once you start getting into high diamond, you're a lot of these plays you're making are definitely going to get punished more often here. In this situation here, as we're going to see, this is a 3v3. You need to communicate with your Cypher somehow. The lack of communication is baffling, but if you would have like somehow gotten him to just stay alive so that you could then leer, he peeks off your leer, you come through smoke, you guys have a great chance at winning that round. I'm gonna give you 2 stars in that round there. I think any communication that could have helped that would have been amazing and given you a really nice opportunity for a great play. Okay, so it's currently 10-5 here. This game definitely still in your control, hasn't fallen into your control yet. Let's see what the play is. Aggression, A main. This gives a lot of information. So remember, when you guys do this, you want to relay this to your team if possible. You want to be like, hey, I just pushed A main, everyone go mid or B, right? Because now you're pushing through sewers, now you're looking for those flank kills, but most likely the other team is probably stacked up B main or mid, or they're mid, obviously, which they are in this round. Looks like they're a combination of both. We've still got 1 player B main, 1 player going up into heaven, and unfortunately both of your teammates lose 1v1s and the res comes through. This could not get any worse with a Brimstone having ult for post plant. So what you have to do here is you have to find a kill quick. Ideally it would have been on the planter, but most likely someone is watching that angle, and they are. One thing you got to be careful of whenever you're retaking B site is just standing out on heaven or on the rafters there, or on catwalk or wherever, because if you just stand up there, you're such an easy kill. You're so exposed, especially when there's 3 other people alive on the other team there. I would not say that round's your fault, and I do like the initial pressure, so I'm actually gonna give you 3 stars on that round. I think that was perfectly fine. Your team just, you know, lost their gunfights. Okay, so 10-6 here, going for the Sheriff. This is around 17. We've seen you hit some nice Sheriff shots, so if you are saving, I'm okay with you using a Sheriff here. And also you have utility. You've got your Devours, and there it is. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's a great shot, and really gives you an opportunity to make a good play in this round. The problem is no awareness there, right? You are just kind of running away. The Jet is spotted up in heaven. You have knife out. Okay, the Jet was spotted. You are knife out. No, nope, 2 stars. Bad play. All right, round 18 starting up here. Moving over towards ramp. I like this ramp. One of my favorite spots to play, especially on split. I think that you get a lot of really good angles to take fights, and you can kind of back up and retreat if you get a heavy push and still make some nice plays. So it's one of my favorite spots for sure. But moving over into ropes here, gotta be careful of these walkthroughs through smokes, especially with the deep smokes, right? When players are smoking correctly like that, those smokes are gonna go far in. Oh no. Oh wow, the big whiff on this round, probably the worst whiff we've seen from you so far. 1 star there, obviously. This is why it's a good idea sometimes to jiggle peek, because look, if you're jiggling this corner, you're gonna be seeing that killjoy a little bit quicker, and that gives you an opportunity when you are just standing still and in such a tight window, you're just reacting. That's very, very hard to hit those shots. Sometimes you miss the shots on the killjoy, or at least the kill shots, and then the Reyna just gets a free peek knowing exactly where you are. So you got to rethink how you want to take those fights. After you miss the killjoy, you probably shouldn't be swinging for the fights. And moving into round 19 now, again going for the ramp push, not seeing anybody. Viper ults mid, so now we move our focus over towards B. This is when you communicate with your team or not. Player was lurking, a sage lurk, which is kind of weird. I can't tell if you hear other people. I can't hear them personally with the audio. It's down a little bit, but no, there is the B push. So okay, so that was almost a bad idea by me. But nonetheless, just communicate. Hey, I don't hear anything. Like, this is the simple stuff you guys do in Valorant. Communicate with your teammates. Be like, hey, I don't hear anybody over here. It's quiet. They'd be like, no, I hear tons of footsteps over by B. That way you kind of know what's going on, even if you don't see anybody. 2v3 here, though, definitely winnable. If possible, your Sage should res, even if it's just a bait. Yep, so now you need to push up because you need to play off of that res. You need to push up, right? That was, you know, that was obvious. Whenever your teammate is rezzing a body that died in a bad spot, a lot of people are going to take the chance to get that free kill because they're greedy. In this situation, you knew the res was coming, and you heard the res was in a spot where you could very easily tell. You got to make a play there to try to save that, because now look what happens. They get a free kill, they fall back, and instead of being in like a potentially either a 3v1 or a 2v1, you leave your teammate in a 1v2 after your death there. I do not like how that round ended, but I am going to give you 2 stars at least. Round 20, starting off with the Sheriff. So as you guys see, this game kind of getting away from our friend Big Mike here. Was started off really, really well, and with some really nice shots to finish out some of these rounds. We're not hitting our shots quite as much. We're not getting quite as many impact frags, and the other team is kind of avoiding us. This happens when you're doing really, really well in a game of Valorant. A lot of times the smartest thing to do is actually just straight up avoid where that player plays. If they know you play A, it might be time to start going more towards heaven, towards B, so you have the quick rotate. That way you're a little more involved in these plays, because let me tell you something. You're playing retake simulator right now. I don't know if you realize this, but this is part of developing as a player, is understanding that, hey, I'm literally just retaking over and over and over. I need to switch where I'm playing. The other team is probably trying to avoid me. Wow, the tap with 6 bullets is a very ambitious play, simply because you're in a 1v2. The chance of you getting 2 kills with that many bullets, very, very low. You do what you can in this round. I do not fault any part of this round on you. I'm gonna give you 4 stars on that round. Again, you're playing retake simulator, right? This is when you need to be like, I cannot keep playing on A. Someone switch with me, or we'll just retake A together and gamble stack over towards B. All right, so again, starting off early with the sort of check over towards A main. Again, we don't see anything. So now here comes your early rotate over into ropes, going to check mid. This is smart. I think that you're at least playing this round well to begin. The problem is your team has showed absolutely no chance of stopping a B push. Wow, what happened? How did this happen? Let's see. Okay, you're just holding a little bit tight. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world that you're holding that tight to the corner, because I think you are still adjusting to the smoke. But you just got to be careful with that type of stuff. Remember, nobody has a reaction time fast enough to hold a corner that close. Like when you're physically that close to the corner, you want to be holding a little bit wider there, but not a big deal. But at least you get the kill, right? And again, you're playing Reyna. You get your devour off. Now you're overhealed. The problem is it's going to run out in a second here. So ideally you want to be a little more aggressive, see if you can get some plays going to keep that overheal up and take advantage of the health. But at the same time, if nothing is there for you, staying alive is obviously always the correct option. Just because you're going to lose your overheal doesn't mean you should throw your life away. But I like what I'm seeing so far, kind of playing patiently and just letting the other team make mistakes. I think you might have not even seen that killjoy behind that devour, behind those special effects, but nonetheless, a good round from you. Again, I'm giving you a 4. I think you played that round fine. Just got a little bit sketchy there in the beginning, that's all. Okay, we're on match point. This is time to put this game away, time to put this game to rest, and you're just gonna swing mid and die. A nice little 1-star round for you there. Not a very smart play, and again, just 2 players there, you're dead. To nobody's surprise, your team did lose that round. Again, peeking mid, especially just swinging out of ropes, It used to work. It really doesn't work that much anymore, especially because of how many players hold ops mid as well. We haven't seen much ops really, I think, until now, at least not that I can remember. I'm surprised there wasn't more ops. I do find at these ranks, a lot more people are op crutches, we'll just say, where really the only way they're getting their kills is through ops. But nonetheless, 3v3, definitely winnable here. I mean, you're having a very good game, but a lot of mistakes, which I like to see. This is what I like to see. When people send me in games of almost dropping a 30, but they're still making like one mistake every round that's very clear, that's fixable, it just shows me that you have a lot of potential, right? And that's a good thing. Nonetheless, though, 3v3 here, you have ult. I think this is a fine time for the ult. You guys remember me talking about in the beginning, when do you ult? A 3v3 retake, I think it's a fine time. Definitely smart there to break that. Now that should have been a kill though. We're gonna notice here crosshair placement. Let's just take a look. Right to the left a little bit. You were a little bit too wide there. Remember, the chances of the Reyna just wide swinging you a little bit low. You would want to expect more of a tight swing there, just because she already used her leer, so she knows that you're probably not ready, quite as ready for the fight. And because she used a leer, she's probably gonna go for a closer angle swing instead of swinging out wide, maybe if she was dry peeking. Nonetheless, though, I believe that round, I'm gonna give you 3 stars on it because I think you did pretty decent. Just you gotta be a little bit better with those shots there, because that would have been really, really important to win that round, put the game away. All right, will this game get sent to OT? 12-11 here, match point. Let's see what you can do. Raze here has her ult. So what I would do is I would communicate with Raze. I'd be like, hey, listen, if they're breaking this wall right now, this is your chance. You know, let me leer for you. Go get that kill with your ult. And just, well, she gets it anyways, right? To start the round off. I mean, realistically, guys, when you have a Raze in your team with ult, and they just need to send it sometimes, especially when there's early pressure like this, you know where they are. Those free kills, that's how you win these games. Wow, what did I just watch? What did I just watch? Oh man, so this is an example of really, really lazy aim. You're like, hey, this guy, he just hit a trip, I know he's coming, let me just spray him down. He turns, one taps you, right? Whether it was lucky, or skill, who cares? The point is, you always go for headshots. Always go for headshots, because when dumb things like that happen, you feel like the biggest fool in the world, right? So right there, I mean, just 1 star. I would give you negative stars on that one. Go for the headshots there. Make sure your team wins this game. Thankfully, Viper closes it out. All right, guys. So to summarize this VOD and kind of wrap up what we saw, I think first and foremost, this was a very good game. A lot of people would look at the score line and be like, oh, you carried, you know, you played really, really well. What's the point of even watching this VOD back? But in reality, what we saw actually was a lot of rounds with some very glaring issues. Now, I think overall, you did a great job playing your role. On attack, you were the duelist, you were the entry, and that was great. Now, one thing that needs improvement is your awareness. There was a lot of rounds where you just simply either weren't paying attention to the minimap, right, which is the next point, or you just weren't, you know, giving the other team enough credit, and you were like, oh, I can just not look at this angle, and then you get shot on the side of the head, which is going to hurt you a lot when you're playing better players. Now, I do also think that in general, your aim is carrying you a bit. This isn't a bad thing. Having good aim is great, but you need to work on your game sense. You need to work on that map awareness. You need to work on your teamwork for sure as well. A little better teamwork in this game. You could have probably put this game away like 12-6, 12-7, but unfortunately, you know, it goes almost the full distance there, or it does go the full distance to get the win in regular time. On top of that, I need you to be more aware and to recognize when you're starting to have no impact on rounds. When you're the top frag and clearly the best player on your team, you need to recognize that and also realize that the other team is literally avoiding you for like 5 rounds straight on defense and you didn't change your position. So just try to pick up on that a bit earlier. And finally, please never buy the Sheriff on pistol unless someone's going to drop it for you. You need to buy your Devours. It is so overpowered on pistol. Please never do that again. But overall, I think you played this game great, but I do think that there was a ton of mistakes, like you mentioned, a bunch of little things, and that is going to hold you back from getting diamonds. So if you could clean that up from what I said, you're in a great spot. And I think this was a great VOD to review. Thanks so much for sending it in. I appreciate it. Hope you guys learned something. If you did, hey, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll see you next time. Take it easy and peace.